Hey, what's going on everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the You vs. You YouTube series. In this episode, I'm going to go over the thing that I sort of enjoy the most, which is the training aspect, and I'm going to go through what we actually have in our home gym. So you'll see it's quite a limited array of equipment, but we're very grateful for it because it's limited, but it's enough to get some really good workouts in, and you have to become creative. They say that, creativity breeds innovation. I believe in this setting, creativity breeds growth and actually breeds motivation, because when you can get creative and make the most out of a few bits and pieces, you enjoy training. You wake up and look forward to it. It doesn't feel so monotonous. So what I'm going to go through today is obviously the home gym setup, my training split currently, so what I'm doing at home, the reasons why I've chosen such a split, as well as the exact workouts that I'm doing, so set for set, exercise, rep, sequence, all of that. So I'm going to get straight into it. I don't want to take too much of your time. All right, so here we are in the home gym. I'm going to give you a full tour. I'm a little bit worried that this video is going to go like way over time, but I want you guys to see the full home gym. So here we go. Okay, so as you can see, got the bike, stopwatch, some weight plates, yoga mats, weighted vest, dumbbells. They range from like 1 kilo to 10 kilos. A squat rack that was built by a friend of mine. So he kind of measured it up to my height and my wife's height, which is why there's the grooves there for the squats and the bench press. A couple of extra plates, some kettlebells, a trap bar, and yeah, that's it. So I'm stoked with everything that we have. Super grateful for what we have, because we can still come and still work out. But essentially, because the dumbbells only go to 10, we've got to be a little bit creative with how we use them, what exercises we use them for. We essentially are training with a barbell or a trap bar and some weight plates. There's a lot that you can do with that. I do have some bands as well of different thicknesses and weights. I use those a lot, especially during warm-ups, and kind of to add resistance to movements. Like for example, a barbell curl, if you want to wrap a band around that, the resistance will kick in toward the top, and that can make the movement really hard in that contracted position. So I'll do little tweaks like that, but essentially, yeah, we're training with the barbell. So the current training split, I'm just going through my little diary here, so sorry if I'm not looking at the camera. I'm not an actor, this is just me. So it's a 4-day split, or sorry, a 3-day split. I do chest, shoulders, and calves. I do calves every workout because if you've ever seen me, your toothbrush is probably the same thickness. So calves every workout. So day 1, chest, shoulders, calves. I like to pair the chest and the shoulders together so you're not stressing that joint over multiple days. I know people like to do, say, the old Arnold chest, back, shoulders, and arms, but if you actually take a step back and have a look at that, you're working that shoulder joint really hard 2 days straight. You only get the 1 day off to recover, like that leg day that they would do, and then straight back into it. So pairing chest and shoulders together, it's getting a lot of work in that session, but then it's got a few days to recover before you hit it again. So I do chest, shoulders, calves on the first day. I do legs and calves, so thighs and calves the second day, and then back, arms, and calves on the third day. So I sort of break up the upper body. I rest every 4th or 5th day. So if I'm resting every 5th day, then I'll hit the chest, shoulders, and calves again straight after that back and arm day. So that's not always amazing for recovery because you've just hit upper body the day before. But I really love training. So for me, training 4 days in a row, and it's still hard for me to take that day off because I want to get back into it and train again. So for me, and for many people, it takes more mental discipline to actually take that training day off. So that's split. Every rest day, I kind of do a little bit of yoga, just self-guided yoga. I find a video on YouTube and follow along. I don't really train abs directly right now. I kind of leave that for the sort of compound movements that I'm doing, just for that sort of bracing component. When we get back into the gyms, I will make that part of my routine, and I will change my training split accordingly. But this is what I'm doing right now. So the style of training that I'm doing is kind of what is known as the UK method. So the UK method, I don't know if that's what it's actually known as, but it's a style of training that was made popular by Dorian Yates and then Jordan Peters, Luke Sandow, James Hollingshead. They're all from the UK and they all follow a very similar training approach. So essentially what you do is you choose a rep target. So say it's 10 reps, which is what I've been working off here since getting back into training. You choose a rep target, and then you do like warm-up sets that are really easy to work towards that. So let's let's just use bench press as an example, and let's say you know that you can do 100 kilos for 10 reps, and that's absolute your max. You couldn't do another rep. So what you would do if that's the case for you is you would warm up, you would do like 50 kilos for just only like 5 reps, and then 70 kilos for another 3 to 5 reps, and then maybe a set at 80. So you're not really taxing yourself that much. You're just priming yourself for the movement. So you can call them priming sets or warm-up sets or whatever, activation sets. But there's actually, if you can do 100 for 10 and you're only doing 70 for 3 in your warm-up, it's not going to be hard. And then when you get to that set of 10, you go absolutely all out. You make sure that it's a true working set. You push yourself to get that 10. After that 10, that counts as kind of your first set. After that 10, you rest for about 1.5 to 3 minutes, depending on the exercise. You don't need much rest if you're doing it for, say, barbell curls. And then you basically go, you add weight and you go as many reps as you can at a higher rate. So you're not going to get 10 reps unless you've got a training partner. But if in the example you are the 100 kilo for 10 reps on the bench press, you might put on 110 or 120 and just go to failure again. See how many reps you can actually get. For someone like me, I can't even do 100 for 10 at the moment, but on my heavy set, I might only get 3 to 5 reps, and it's a real struggle. It's a really big grind, but eventually, you will improve through that. So you get your 5 reps, you put the weight back. So you've done one working set of your 10 reps or whatever your target was for that day. You've done one true failure heavy working set, and then there's a back off set. So for the back off set, again, using the 100 kilo bench press as an example, you might drop the weight back to 80, and you're technically not supposed to do it to failure, but I go pretty close too. So I just do as many reps as I can with that backed off weight. But I'm also mindful of what exercise is to follow. So if straight after bench press you have incline bench press, it's probably not a good idea to go to complete failure. I still like to get a lot of reps out of it. So let's say failure at 80 kilos is 20 reps. Ideally, you'd probably get to about 18 and leave a couple of reps in reserve. Rest, and then repeat that sequence and work up to your 10 rep working rate for the incline bench press as an example. I'm going to break this video up a little bit and now show you my back workout and just do a little bit of voiceover of the back workout so you can get an idea of how that UK method actually looks in application. And then I'll talk about the actual sets and reps for my other workouts after that. So exercise number 1 of my UK method back day is an underhand barbell row, so like a supine grip barbell row. Now this particular set is my heavy working set, so you'll see that I am using some, controlled cheating. I am using a little bit of momentum here. So prior to this set, my priming sets and even my 10 rep working set, I try to keep the form as strict as possible. When I get to this heavy set, I do allow myself this controlled cheating, because I do believe that sometimes if you are too strict, you kind of limit your progression. That's not to say that you allow any unsafe movements. I think this is quite a controlled movement. With the failure set, I like to get one extra rep out here. So you'll see it's like a mini rest pause set, just so I know that I've fully taxed the muscle. I've given everything that I can. And this set was followed with a lighter weight back off. So exercise number 2 is the deadlift. I always like on back day to do a more hypertrophy focused movement first, which today was the underhand barbell row. I just feel like I get better mind-muscle connection during the deadlift, and I can actually feel my muscles contracting and working. In this set, I think that my joints are less involved and my body is just generally warm. There's a good blood flow through all of the working muscles. Not only do I think that this is safer overall, but I also think the hypertrophy results are better. Of course, you can't lift as much weight because you are slightly taxed, but my goal is to be a bodybuilder, not a powerlifter. As far as the UK method is concerned with the deadlift, I just stick with the working weight, as in my aim was to hit my heaviest 8 reps at the reset deadlift, and I think that I got 7 on this set. The deadlift and the squat are the exercises that I don't believe in pushing past that form failure. And I always preference reset deadlifts over like touch and go or bouncing deadlifts. I just think it's safer overall, and I think you get a better strength and muscle stimulus from that. After that heavy set, I went to a lighter back off set and then into barbell rows. This is actually my 10 rep working weight. I'm not stoked with the form. I did use some controlled cheating here, even though my goal is not to. But at this stage of the workout, I was actually happy to move this weight, which is relatively heavy for me and my structure. So from here, I move into a higher rep superset. So I have done my UK method exercises as being the 2 variations of the barbell row as well as the deadlift.
I'm actually dealing with a rotator cuff issue at the moment in my left shoulder, so I cannot do pull-ups, which is a shame because they're my favorite back exercise, absolutely by far. So I've got this banded lat pull-down variation. You can see I've got two bands tied together at the top on the pole, and then a dumbbell going through the middle, so I've got like a relatively narrow grip. I'm aiming for anywhere from 15 to 20 reps, and I can't actually go full range of motion, so I can't go all the way to the top with straight arms. So I'm trying to get as close to as possible without flaring up my rotator cuff issue, because when I do take it to the top and then try to engage from that stretch position, that's when it tends to flare up on me. The goal with this exercise is to still get a decent stretch in that lat muscle and still think about that lat width, and to really drive the elbows down and in, squeezing in around the rib cage with the elbows so you can feel the lats working for a period of 2 to 3 seconds. So I think I took this set to about 18 reps. Again, I'm not trying to go heavy. I can't go heavy. I've got the two bands, that's it. And then the superset was with the trap bar here. So I move into trap bar shrugs. I really like the trap bar for shrugs. I believe that it lines up perfectly with the angle of pull of your upper traps. So if you think about your upper traps, they are pyramid shaped. So if you want to work them to their ideal angle of pull, you would pull your shoulders up and in toward your ears. So the path of your arms here kind of forces that to happen. You can see that I slightly bend my elbows at the top. It's just so I can increase my range of motion, but also keep my shoulders back. I think a lot of people run into shoulder issues when they shrug and they allow their shoulders to move forward. Moving into arms, this is a pretty pathetic attempt at my heavy UK method set of barbell curls. So it's only at the 40 kilo mark. I managed 35 for 10, relatively easy. But once I hit 40, it's 40 kilos. Once I hit 40, I couldn't really get past like 4 clean reps. So again, a little bit of controlled cheating, some swinging. Once I've reached sort of my max reps here, I moved into drag curls. It's just a way for me to push that set beyond failure and still work the bicep. If you've never done drag curls before, do them at the end of a set of regular curls as a type of mechanical drop set. You will really feel your biceps working. It's one of my favorite techniques, and I just hope to get stronger at this movement in future. Here's another superset for the workout. So again, the same setup with the bands, a couple of bands looped together. A kneeling tricep extension. So if you really want to work your triceps, you have to think about locking your shoulder blades together and squeezing your elbows into the side. It should really only be your forearms moving. As you start to fatigue and fail, like I am at this point, my shoulders start to rotate internally, which is not what you want. So once you get to that point, you do a mechanical drop set. So for me, standing up, the band is not under as much stretch, so therefore it's not going to have as much resistance. And I'm also pushing forward, not straight down. So it's a shorter range of motion. Again, a mechanical drop set means that the weight stays the same, but the technique that you are using is a little bit easier. I move from there, so that tricep exercise, into a barbell reverse curl. I really like to try to develop the forearms. When I do heavy deadlifts, I generally use straps because I do not want my forearms to be a limiting factor for how much weight I can lift from the floor. But with that being said, I do think it's important to train the forearms and to train your grip strength. And to do that, I like to target it directly toward the end of this session. So I've got some barbell reverse curls, and I'll show you at the end of the set. One of my favorite techniques for developing grip strength is this little rotation here. So rotate the bar 10 times forward, 10 times back. Your forearms should be burning during that motion. My final superset for the day, these dumbbell skull crushers. I like to do them on the floor so that I can really lock my shoulder blades together, set my elbows, and just move. I'm trying to do this with a really controlled negative, so I don't get many reps here. What I do is I lower the dumbbells down, squeeze my biceps so that I know that my triceps are at a full stretch. So I recommend that you do that co-contraction. And then once you've felt that bicep engage, relax it, squeeze the triceps, and try to extend that dumbbell up, or those dumbbells up. If you can do that on many different movements, so think about like a leg extension, squeezing your hamstring at the bottom, you will get a greater range of motion and a greater challenge. The final exercise for the workout, seated calf raise. So I'm pretty much doing this or a donkey calf raise variation. They're the only two calf exercises that I'm able to do at the moment with my very limited range of equipment. Again, still super grateful for what I've got. And I've actually found this to be a really hard exercise for the calf, especially when you focus on squeezing your calves at the top. I try to get a good range of motion, so going from dorsiflexion to plantar flexion at the ankle. And my goal here is to just get a really good squeeze. So I aim for 2 seconds at the top. On the way down, I'm actually pushing the weight down with my hands. That is a force negative technique, so it makes that weight a little bit heavier on the way down to stress the muscle. I find that technique, the force negative, really good for building muscle. And when gyms reopen, I want you to get a training partner and try it on a lying leg curl. Have your partner push down on the leg curl on the negative. You'll feel that like nothing before. So that is the workout. You've got a feel for how I train in my home gym.
So hopefully you enjoyed that back workout and you got something out of it. Hopefully you have at least the barbell, possibly a trap bar if you're lucky, and you can follow that workout. And then if you can, let me know how you go. If you've got most of it and you've found some ways to adapt your workout, please let me know that too. I'd like to hear how you went with it, because I really enjoy that workout and this style of training. So I'll go through my actual training now and give you every workout that I'm doing, every set, every rep. Hopefully now that you've seen the UK method, you know what I'm talking about when I sort of rattle it off. So day one, chest, shoulders, calves. What I do is incline bench press. I'm sticking with that 10 rep working weight. Decline bench press, military press for the shoulders, although I have an issue with my rotator cuff. I sustained it before going to Kapuka for military training, and it's still not right, even though I had 12 weeks off lifting weights. So it's fine on the bench press and everything, but sometimes I have to substitute that military press for just a really slow eccentric front raise or something. It's fine, work around it. It's not causing any extra damage by doing that. I am kind of avoiding any overhead movements just because I don't want to make it worse and then get to the gym and just not be able to do anything. So military press or the front raise. Usually that would be the UK method for all three of those exercises: incline, decline, military press. But when I go to the front raise, I just kind of volume like 12 to 15 reps. After that, I've got a couple of supersets. So I'll do dumbbell flies superset with dumbbell laterals. They are 3 sets of 15 each. Dumbbell rear delt flies superset with dumbbell cross raise. So just underhand or supinated grip up and across. People think it's a bro science exercise. I really like it because it's still that horizontal adduction with a slight shoulder flexion. So it's kind of working that front delt and pectoral muscle. At least that's where I feel it. I go by feel. If the textbook says that's not how it accurately works, but that's how I feel it, I'm going to take my how I feel it over what the textbook says, because the textbook is going off a general structure, but it's not necessarily your individual structure. You might be different than what is based on what that textbook is basing everything on. I do some externally rotated upright rows. So I just do 2 sets of 15. So and these are with dumbbells, rather than bringing the weight up in that internal rotation position, I actually pull my hand up so that my wrist is still higher than my elbow and shoulder. It stops me from getting that shoulder impingement up to here and back down. So it's kind of like a hybrid front raise, lateral raise with that upright rowing motion. I enjoy those. Again, I feel them really well. And then seated calf raises like you saw in the video. So 4 sets of 20. Leg day number 1 is back squats, 10 reps, front squats, 10 reps. These are both the UK method. And then I go into Bulgarian split squats, kind of with a pause. So 4 sets of 12 per leg. And then a superset, Romanian deadlifts, 4 sets of 10, and barbell glute bridges, 4 sets of 10. And then lunges with the barbell, 3 sets of 20, supersetted with, again, seated calf raises. There's not much variation for my calves training right now, which is 3 sets of 15. And then I do bodyweight calf squats, which I'll show you, I'm sure, in another video, 2 sets of 50. So that's like my higher rep range. I'll tell you the alternate back and arms workout to what you saw in the video, because I will cover in another video. I have my UK method days, and then I have my FST7 days. I know people probably laugh, FST7, facial stretch training 7. It's a lot of bro science. There's not a lot of actual science behind it saying that you can stretch the fascia and expand your muscles. I don't actually think that fascia stretch is true in that sense, how Hani Rambo, the creator, sort of sells it as you're stretching that spiderweb-like material around your muscle so that it can expand and grow. I don't believe that's the mechanism of it working. I enjoy volume training. I enjoy that sort of intense feeling. So I do these workouts more for enjoyment and to balance out the heavier days. So I'll go through the back and arms day briefly, and then I'll fill you in on the other FST7 style days in a later video. So for the back and arm ones, I have a banded pull down like you saw. I was initially doing weighted pull-ups, but just, again, didn't feel great on the shoulder. So that's 3 sets of about 15 to 20 with a 2-second squeeze. I do barbell rows, 4 sets of 8 to 12. So in this style of training, you don't go with the UK method, you stick with a rep range and you try to get your heaviest working weight for good quality in that rep range. So barbell rows, 4 sets of 8 to 12, T-bar rows, 4 sets of 8 to 12, and then I do a trap bar row. So if you can imagine where the handles are sitting on the trap bar, I can pull those back. It's a nice mid, back and trap movement. That's 3 sets of 8 to 12. And then my 7 sets, so an FST 7, you get to something that you're doing for 7 sets of 8 to 15 reps. You rest 30 seconds in between sets and you try to stretch the muscle while you are doing that 30 seconds rest. So I do kettlebell pullovers. I do them laying vertically on the bench so I can feel my lat working. It is kind of an overhead movement, but it doesn't cause any flare up. And I just make sure I control the eccentric. So nice straight arm. You feel your lat stretch and then you squeeze it and extend to the point where you can still feel it working before you lose that activation feel. So 30 seconds rest in between all 7 sets. You're just holding a lat stretch for that 30 seconds. And then I superset barbell curls with dumbbell skull crushers. So they are 5 sets of 10 to 12 each. And then a 7-set superset for them, which is a fair bit of volume. But again, I enjoy it. I don't care if your textbook says that's not the best thing to do. So that 7 sets is hammer curls and banded tricep extension. They are both 7 sets of 12 to 20 with the 30 seconds. In that 30 seconds, I'll alternate. So every odd set, I'll stretch biceps. Every even set, I'll set triceps. I'll stretch the triceps just to get a bit of balance there. And then I finish the workout with a donkey calf raise. So kind of leaning over the bench, holding onto the bench with a plate on my back. That will be 4 sets of 10 with a 3-second squeeze, so I can really feel that calf working. So that's sort of my first 3 workouts. So I alternate. I've got 3 workouts that are UK method. So 1 for chest and shoulders, 1 for back and arms, 1 for legs, and then 3 that are FST 7. Again, 1 for each of those. Again, I'm resting every 4th or 5th day. And I like to have that balance of the heavier, more intense in terms of load day, and then the lighter kind of volume style day. It just feels good for my body. I'm not trying to be a powerlifter. I'm not trying to be super strong. I'm trying to have fun, stay motivated, and build the maximum amount of muscle that I can. So both of these methods I enjoy, and I find that a happy medium exists when you have them on alternate days. I'm less likely to burn out, and I think I'm less likely to get injured too. So to me, it's a win-win. I hope you got something out of the video. I hope you enjoy that workout if you do it. I will upload another training video at another time, and I'll talk about the other 2 workouts that I didn't cover in this video. And I'll go through another. If you want to see a particular body part, whether it be the chest, shoulders, calves, or the legs and calves, let me know and I'll make sure I get that one up too. So again, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry if I waffled and rambled, but I hope that you got something out of it.